Hey, what's up everybody? Anthony Sevens back again for another product review, and today we're going to be reviewing the Hasbro Pulse Nerf M41A Pulse Rifle as seen in the movie Aliens. Let's rock and roll. Alright, so what we have here, if you've ever seen the movie Aliens, one of my all-time favorite sci-fi action movies, directed by James Cameron, in the film they have this weapon known as a pulse rifle. And this is what they use to kill the xenomorphs, or the aliens. And the pulse rifle consists of a few different features. So you have a light-up counter, which tells you how many bullets are in the gun, and I'll show you that everything in a little bit more detail in a few moments. And then you have up front, you have a pump action grenade launcher. So you would cock it, and then you pull this little trigger right here, and the dart shoots out. So that's pretty much what this weapon consists of, and it's one of the most iconic weapons ever seen in an 80s sci-fi action movie. I mean, it's like you have the DeLorean in Back to the Future, you have the proton pack in Ghostbusters, you have the pulse rifle from Aliens. I mean, that's how iconic this weapon is. So just to kind of give you a little, so as you can see, if you leave it sitting idle, the whole system shuts off. So the number counter went away. Now, if you take this cartridge here, this is the cartridge that you load these little foam Nerf bullets into, like so. Sometimes they could be a little bit of a pain in the butt, but not much. Ding, 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 ding. So I have 10 bullets in this cartridge, and that's all that this thing could hold. And unfortunately, with this weapon, it's not compatible for any other kind of Nerf clips or anything like that. So you have your 10 bullets in the clip. Now watch the counter. You load it up, the counter goes on to 10. Now the way that you fire this thing when you put 4C batteries in this thing is you hold this little trigger down here, and then you pull this trigger like so. Now to operate the grenade launcher, this is very simple. You can either put the grenade in before or after, but I like putting it in before. And then you fire by pulling this trigger right here. And as you can see, you have the different sound effects coming out. Pretty cool stuff, right? Now, some of you might be asking, well, as far as differences, or how does it compare to an actual pulse rifle that you see in the film? This is considered to be a 1:1 scale model. So 1:1 means that it is full size, just pretty much super duper close to what you see in the film as far as size, shape, sculpt. There are a few little things that is not included in the movie version. Like, there's no trigger right here for the grenade launcher in the movie version, and you don't have to hold a button to pull the trigger to fire the machine gun element of it all. The stock on this does not pull out, so it's just fixed in there, whereas in the movie version you can actually pull out the stock, because you got to remember, the movie version is actually made from real gun components mixed with some shit that the special effects department made to make it look a little bit more futuristic-y. But for the most part, the pulse rifle was designed after a real gun. So, when it comes to making a toy of that, there has to be some alterations and liberties and stuff. But for the most part, I mean, it is the pulse rifle. I would have to say, if I had to take a guess, this is probably about 80% accurate to what you see in the film as far as size and sculpt and functionality goes when it comes to having the machine gun feature, the grenade feature, the little counter, which you can go up or down with that, and it can actually go up to 99, even though it's only a 10 bullet chamber. So you can kind of set it to however you want, for special effects purposes. But you know, the shroud, the shape of the gun, the feel, even the weight of it. I mean, it's really, really amazing. I mean, I can't tell you how many, you know, pulse rifles that I've seen since the 1980s, you know, in real life, or stuff that they have online. And you know, this is really good. Now, with a professional grade paint job, which I actually plan on doing a whole paint over to bring this a little bit more movie accurate, just for my personal collection, it's going to even look even more amazing. So I'll probably do a whole other little video on the whole painting of this thing within a week or so. But let's talk about price. What is the price of one of these things? Well, this retails at about $99, about $100 or so, give or take, depending, you know, shipping and receiving and where you live in the world. And $99 for something like this is absolutely very, very average for what Hasbro puts out with their stuff. Now, if you're not familiar with Hasbro Pulse, Hasbro has come out with things like the Star Wars Black Series helmets, which retail at about $100 to $120 per helmet. So $100 for something like this, for an iconic weapon from an iconic movie, is, you know, very average and very affordable to the average collector. Now, the problem was when this gun first came out onto the market, when it was first announced, right? You had to pre-order this thing a year in advance before it even came out, which even to us fans of something like this, that's like really ridiculous. So you put in the order, you have to wait an entire year before you even get it. And, you know, these things sell out within, you know, the first 20 minutes that they're online, right? But, you know, so I wound up purchasing one, like pre-ordering it. And then what happened was during that year's worth of time, I had to back out of that order just because, you know, I had some other priority financial things to take care of. So technically, I missed out on the first batch. I was supposed to miss out on the whole thing. And I'm thinking to myself, well, if I ever want to get this gun again, well, I'm shit out of luck and I'm going to wind up having to pay like double, maybe even triple the price on eBay, which some people are selling this for double the price on eBay right now as we speak. Some people have even gone the distance of doing the whole paint job and customizing this thing up and selling it for, you know, a few $100s. I've seen like $350 to $400 for a completely repainted version of one of these. So I wound up getting this on a holiday sale, December of 2022. It was being sold through GameStop, which means I guess they came out with a whole other batch of these things, and they were selling them exclusively through GameStop. And the retailed at $99, again, very average price. But if you got a GameStop subscription, which I believe is $19, then it took the price of this gun down to $75. $75 plus the subscription. Grand total came to like $94, which is still under the retail price. So that was an offer I absolutely could not refuse. As I always like to tell everybody, when it comes to collecting, one of my mottos is smart shopping. So you do the math, you be patient, you wait, and you hit those deals when you can get them, and you get cool shit like this. So anyway, so yeah, on average, if you're actually able to find one at retail price through GameStop, expect to pay roughly about $100. If you can get that cool $75 discount, I say go for it and get your little GameStop subscription. Other than that, you're going to be hitting up eBay for you know, scalpers doubling, tripling the price, or people customizing this and tripling or quadrupling the price. Now, you might say, some people might actually say, you know, well, I don't know if it's worth $100, you know, it's a big piece of plastic, it's a Nerf gun. But here's the thing. When it comes to Aliens pulse rifles, right, this, again, it's an iconic weapon of one of my all-time favorite iconic movies. And ever since I was a little kid, I've always wanted to own a pulse rifle, right? Now, if you go online on eBay, if you go to Etsy.com, where people make hyper-realistic versions of what you see in the film, I mean, you'll be paying anywhere from $500, $600, $700. I actually saw a pulse rifle replica go for a couple grand on eBay, and I'm going, holy shit, I'm never going to own this weapon at all whatsoever, because I'm not dishing out $500, $600, $700 for a pulse rifle that I'm probably just going to hang on a wall, or it's going to sit on a shelf as a display piece. It just isn't worth it to me. So when Hasbro Pulse came out with this, it really shocked and amazed all of us that we can own a life-size pulse rifle of sorts, not necessarily a bolt-for-bolt exact replica, but pretty damn close, for $100. It was like, holy crap, let's do this. And then you get it and realize that you can take the shroud apart and stuff and give it a full repaint job. I mean, there's already mostly everybody who owns one of these has taken apart their guns and have repainted it to look a little bit more like visually movie accurate. And so you're paying an extra, I don't know, $30 to $50 for the spray paint, and then just some spare time. So you figure for roughly around $150, you're going to get something essentially in the end that's going to look like a weapon from the film. Now, $150 versus $500, $600, $700, $800, a couple $1,000 for an exact replica of what you see in the movie. I'll take the $150 any day of the week. And once this thing is painted and hanging up on my wall and amidst some of the other aliens things in my collection, I can honestly tell you, now that I have this in my hands and have experienced it for a couple days, it's 1,000% worth the $100 price tag. 1,000% worth it. If I was forced to, if these were completely sold out, and if I had to go up a little bit, I would pay a maximum of $175, maybe $200 to get my hands on one of these. Again, against paying $500, $600, $700, over $1,000 for a little bit more of a screen accurate replica. But I mean, that's all I have for you. I mean, as far as kids versus adults, I mean, I guess it's a Nerf gun. Kids could play with it. I mean, it's fun for the whole family. But Hasbro Pulse, they're just known for making stuff more geared towards nerdy adult collectors like myself. And they always do a really good job. Like 98% of the time what Hasbro Pulse puts out is always impressive. And, this is no exception. The Alien Pulse Rifle is absolutely no exception. And if you're a fan of Nerf guns or even the movie Aliens, this thing is an absolute must-have, especially if you can't afford the high-end replicas, and especially if you want to repaint this sucker to look more screen accurate. Now, as far as, because I know there's a lot of like pro Nerf competitors out there that buy the super hyper fancy guns and they go through obstacle courses and they're shooting at targets and all this other stuff. This is not necessarily what I would call a pro grade gun. I would not purchase this or use this in competition unless you completely change the mechanical interiors of this thing to be more efficient for tournament gaming. Other than that, this is just kind of like a fun, high-end toy for nerdy collectors. So just, heed that warning. The reason why is because it is not a powerful weapon. Like it just, when everything shoots between the bullets and the low throwing grenades that come out of this thing, it's not extremely powerful by any means. I mean, maybe the bullets are. But again, when you only have a clip that can only hold 10, I mean, how far are you going to go in a tournament when someone else has a clip of 50, 60, 70, over 100 darts? So, and this doesn't come with any kind of, purchase a separate cartridge option. And again, you cannot put your average Nerf clips into this gun. It's just designed. It's almost like they wanted to be assholes and design it to where you can only use this cartridge for this gun and you can't use anything else. So, which some professional Nerf enthusiasts were kind of pissed about that. But I guess, according to what I'm hearing, things can be changed, modded, altered. I mean, anything that you get can be changed, modded, and altered to fit your likings. But it just might take a little bit of money, time, and effort. But that's all I got for you today. The Hasbro Pulse Aliens Nerf Gun Pulse Rifle. Amazingly badass. If you can find yours today, go to GameStop.com and get yourself one of these. Or else, again, you're going to be paying a little bit more on eBay. So that's all I got for you. Until we meet again, take care of yourself, take care of each other, and stay frosty.